Imagine you live in a small town where your family has lived for many generations. Then someone new moves to the town. You show them around and help them get settled in. Then once they have established themselves within the community, they invite a bunch of their friends to move into town and tell you that you have to move. You would probably say no, but what if they got the government to force you to move? This scenario seems a little far-fetched. However, that's exactly what happened to millions of Native American Indians. I grew up in Oklahoma, and in school there, we had to learn about Oklahoma history, which is also chock full of Native American history. But I still wanted to learn more, so I did a little research on my own. Today, I want to tell you a little bit about what my research has taught me. Where did the natives come from? How have they been mistreated over the years, and where are they now? According to History.com, the ancestors of the Native American people came from Alaska to North America by way of a land bridge more than 12,000 years ago. Over hundreds of years, they moved all over the Americas and adapted their lifestyles to their surroundings. Some of the Indians became nomadic hunters and gatherers, while others decided to plant roots and build permanent houses. Some scholars estimate that over 50 million people lived in the Americas, both North and South America, before Christopher Columbus arrived. They estimate that nearly 10 million people lived in what is now the United States. So what happened after the settlers came to America? At first, things were peaceful with the natives. The natives helped the settlers establish their homes and communities. But after that, according to Running Strong for American Indian Youth, European conquest shattered many native communities through forcible relocation, warfare, broken treaties, and foreign-brought diseases. Most native communities were completely wiped out. So now let's discuss a little bit about the wars and relocations. During the 18th and 19th centuries, many wars were fought with the Native American people. The French, Spanish, English, and Americans all had their own wars with the Native Americans. In the end, the American government decided that gathering all the Indians and relocating them onto reservations would be best. One of the major relocation efforts was the forcible relocation of the Cherokee tribes from east of the Mississippi River to Oklahoma, which became known as the Trail of Tears. According to PBS.org, over 4,000 out of the 15,000 Cherokees died during their walk to Oklahoma. But the government did not stop there. After the relocation efforts, the government then passed legislation that would forbid Native Americans to practice their religion or have any kind of ceremonies. The government also took their children away and forced them to go to Christian boarding schools. In these schools, the children were not allowed to practice their own religion or even speak their own languages. These laws were not fully repealed until the passage of the American Indian Religious Freedom Act of 1978. So, where are the Native Americans today? According to the United States Census Bureau, as of 2011, the population of the people that identify themselves as Native Americans is about 5.1 million people. That is only 1.5% of the total population of the United States. Although they have been through some very tough times, Native American tribes are now trying to reconnect with their heritage, their culture, and their religion. According to Running Strong for American Indian Youth, there are 566 federally recognized American Indian and Alaskan Native tribes and villages in the United States, each with their own language, culture, and history. They also go on to say that a number of these tribes have created language learning programs to preserve and pass on their tribal dialects for future generations. Native American Indians have had a long and rough history. They came to this unforgiving land, made it their own. They then helped the settlers establish themselves. After that, they were slaughtered in masses, forced to move from their homes, denied their religious freedoms, and their children were forced to learn the American way. The information I have given you today is just a brief history of what the Native American people went through. There is much more to learn, and unfortunately, much that we could learn will never be known, because the Native American tribes of old did not have a written language. Everything was passed down from generation to generation by word of mouth. I feel that it is very important to study history, because as Winston Churchill once said, those who fail to learn from history are doomed to repeat it.